Hello, folks, and welcome to the Relationship Builders Customize Your Love Life series. You are here today with Bobby and Joy. So, today we're going to talk about the traditional dating values that are changing. Which ones, I guess, what would people like to see come back into style? What would they like to see happen again, right? So, I guess first we should talk about what some of the traditional dating values are, and then then kind of maybe talk about, is that something that we would really like to see come back again, or we could care less. Like, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so for me, or one of the ones that was mentioned online when I posed that question was, this girl said that she'd like to see men act like men. I know for Bobby as a man, that's kind of probably a bit offensive, but I understand what she's saying. I find that men, because I guess women are becoming much more empowered and independent and all of that, I find that men, and not all men, of course, are pulling back. They're saying, let her approach me, let her do this, let her do that. So then there's women like her and like myself that say, hell to the no. Like, act like a man, stand up, do what you got to do, type of
First of
thing.
all, you can't talk about act like a man if you're not a man and you don't know. Might as well you said act like the man that I want you to be, not the man that because you don't know what a man is. You don't know what a man's supposed to be. We just go by what we see in life and said, okay, that is what a man's supposed to be. So you don't know because like I said, I never hear a man say a woman to a woman. I don't hear this thing a lot, saying, "Oh, why don't you be a woman? Or why don't you act like a woman?" That's something I don't hear too often because a man, you don't know what it's like to be a woman, and vice versa, right? My thing is, yes, things have gone, I mean, more
Haywire and
differently,
unto
in a different kind of way where you don't have the same thing that we used to see nowadays, and man, more of us has been getting again get left behind by society in a way, right, and not included. So a lot of men let society dictates who they are. So if you have the ability of a man that will see a woman and go after her and talk to her and try to pick her up, I mean, and you don't allow society to change you, then you're gonna forever be that. But there's a lot of guys that are buying to what they see in the media and believe in all that thing that men are supposed. A lot of men in the mainstream are becoming more, passive and more feminine. Like they're not, that like women say they're not standing up, so to speak, right? And as a man, you have to decide what makes sense for you. Don't do not let society dictates and change who you are because what happened at the end of the day is we live in a society now where women are getting extremely empowered. Everything is geared to make women feel better, empower women, put women in a different, playing field, so to speak. And as a man, you have to know what your values are. Don't believe in the hype, don't buy in the hype, because if you're buying the hype, you become one of those guys that they're saying ain't man enough. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you have to realize what's important. You cannot always bend over back, bend your back over for for anybody. Sometimes sometimes you have to be your own man just to really make sure that you're still grounded, right? Because if you're not really on point with what's going on, then it doesn't matter. So when you're talking about traditional roles and traditional whatever, all of that is good, but far too many people are buying into society. So therefore, I mean, all of that traditional stuff, like, you still guys that are opening doors for women. You still have guys that are asking a woman out on a date. You still have those stuff, traditional stuff, because it's what they value. What kind of household you come from, right? And the reason why too, why there's not a lot of traditional stuff, because a lot of these kids are coming from single parent household, right? And when you come from a household like that, you see you live with your mom and you don't see them in a relationship, then you're just gonna go by the fly. You're just gonna go by the fly. What you see on TV, what your friends say, mean whatever you see, that's what you're gonna really base everything off of.
I'd love to add something to that. It's interesting. I forgot where I saw this point before, but it's so true. And I say to women, I say this to women all the time that I come in contact with, ones that have children. Every time you hold back and play whatever role you want to play without any thought for your child, you're now teaching them to live a completely separate life. Now they're not going to get the man they want and the family they want and all the things, because why? You're buying into this whole concept of, I am woman, I do me, and I don't take, I don't listen to no man tell me anything. So then now you have a daughter, you're teaching her the same thing. She grows up with now the same mentality, and it just becomes this whole cycle. And so then You wonder then why, this person that I know who, her grandmother was single, mom was single, she's single, struggling, becomes a whole family epidemic, a whole dynamic. It just becomes the way they live. Why? Because one person taught it, the other person taught it, the other person. That's why no matter what, if you're single, and you're by yourself, I encourage you, honestly, to be able to demonstrate a healthy, loving relationship for your child or for your children. Why? Because when you do that, then they know now what to do. If they only see you single, struggling, doing everything for yourself, that's all they know to do. Right? That's all they know to do until they come across a family or somebody who teaches them different. It is your responsibility. I don't care what you say, ladies, but it is your responsibility to demonstrate to your kids what a loving, healthy relationship looks like. I was single and I was teaching my son to be a certain way. When Bobby stepped in, thank God, because my son really was able to see more the role of a man in a relationship. I didn't realize, I could only demonstrate to my son what I could demonstrate to him. So when he came in and now I see my son in a relationship, with a woman, I think now he knows what better to do. I mean, actually, to be honest, I see my son in a healthier relationship than many relationships out there. People are coming in and out of relationship within 3 to 6 months, and I think my son has been involved with this girl for about 2 years now. It's been demonstrated to him. He knows what to do, or he knows what to expect. If you don't see and know, people think, oh, you just know. It's not like just reading a book. You can know something in theory and not know it on any other level. You can teach something to other people that you have no clue about, but then you don't really know, because when it comes to you facing certain trials and tribulations in that scenario, then you don't know what to do. Why? Because you just kind of read it from a book. When you know something is when you live and you experience it. You know the good times, you know the bad times, you know the ups, you know the downs. You go through what you need to go through to understand. But people think, oh, I just know. No, you don't just know, because if you knew, you would have chosen better. You wouldn't have chosen to be there single by yourself, struggling, raising a child on your own, or what. You wouldn't have chosen that.
Yes, and the traditional role is gone way. That's in the past now. That doesn't even exist anymore. We see everything is changing right now. Is it changing for the better? As far as I'm concerned, no, because society has way too much control over a lot of people live their life, and they buy into anything that's put in front of them.
Right.
And because of that, a lot of people are distorted. They don't know what they're going on. A lot of people are confused, right? But who are you taking your info from? What source are you taking your info from? Are they giving you information that's in your best interest? And half the time it's not, because everybody's getting put in a box and everybody must believe this. And it doesn't work for everybody. And a lot of people buy into stuff that does not believe, they don't believe it. You know what I mean? You can take, like I said, you can go back to a thing called marriage, right? You can go back to that woman that believes that, didn't care about marriage growing up as a kid. And then she meet a lot of friends, and a lot of these women are telling her, you should get married, you must get married, and then it becomes her. But you know what? She's just doing it now because she was told, not because she believed. So a lot of people are not going by what they believe, they're going by what they're told. And as a result, a lot of relationships are not working out. And the traditional thing is not even, if we had the traditional, ways and people believed in all of that, relationship would be a lot more stronger. It'd be more from a solid foundation.
Absolutely.
But because that is not the case, and everybody's just doing whatever and everybody's doing them, then eventually it becomes, one of those things that people end up missing the mark. And because they're missing the mark, then the relationship it will never work.
Yeah, so, I guess the focus is going to be really, I want to talk more about this, men being men thing, that at the end of the day, that I really believe that when men are not being men, women are not being women, that everything just gets messy, right? So we can say men are not being men, but then this gentleman then put another comment, and his thing was that, female chivalry, that I guess women are not being women either. It's a whole dynamic, it's a whole play.
It's a power struggle, I feel.
It is huge.
Because, huge. When there's a power trip, people have to go above and beyond who they are. The thing is, men are not fighting back, though. Men are more putting in cruise control and say, I don't want to, and part of it too, a lot of men are becoming lazy too as well, right? Because, when you get to that point, like, you don't feel like you have to. It's kind of like my granddad and my dad did it before, and I don't even care. I don't care about it, so whatever.
See, but that's, women are going to stay then.
But that's what here. But that's what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of guys that are pretty much just kind of, putting it in cruise control, not really putting a fight against it. And you know, when one is fighting and the other one is not fighting, it becomes a dominant situation, and then it becomes really an adverse effect on whole society, and people see it. And what I'm telling man is, do not buy into all the hype that society is telling you, because it's just a load of garbage, and it's just disempowering you as a man more and making you feel like you don't have anything. You know what I mean? So you gotta stop believing the hype and believing that, you know what, no matter what is no matter, listen, who you are is who you're gonna be, and you don't change it for nobody. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. Because look what's happening now. You know, the women are becoming more masculine. They're running the show. You know what I mean? And that's not even a
Not
joke. You
more.
know what I mean? They're running the show. So realistically, you know what I mean, where do you stand and what do you believe in? Right? And at the end of the day, once you have something that you believe in, you know where you stand. No matter any which way society is going, you're
You're
grounded.
good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I don't buy into the whole strong, independent woman thing anyway. Listen, I'm quite good with being, being not say dependent on someone else, but interdependent, they say, right? You're doing it with someone. Why would you want to do it by yourself? And I really believe, honestly, that these women don't want to do it by themselves. I just think that they find themselves in the middle of this whole mix-up of society, which is then creating that they end up doing it by themselves. Nobody wants to do anything, so therefore they end up doing everything alone, right? I don't want to compromise. I don't want to cook for him. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. And then you just end up doing it alone. So at some point you got to drop the baggage, drop the nonsense, and open your heart and just try. Right? You got to stop worrying about, oh, who's going to hurt me and who's going to. Yeah, with him, I did worry big time on that. But you know what? I also knew that being alone was no fun. So there comes a time when you just got to surrender and say, you know what? Hell, let's just give this a try and see how it
Yep.
goes.
And just stop fighting and just live life and have fun.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, folks, so tune into the Relationship Builders Customize Your Love Life series on relationshipbuilderexclusive.com. Yeah, we'd love to see you again soon. And we have more coming up, so check out our next video. Bye for now.